Hey, how's it going there, guys? Cloud Truth here, and welcome back to my Battlefield 3 in-game class guide series. This is a video series in which I break down each of the 4 classes here in Battlefield 3, give tips, talk about different tactics, weapon loadouts, equipment to best make use of each class to give you the most success you can here in the new in-game DLC for Battlefield 3. In this video today, I'm going to be covering the Engineer class, primarily though, talking about pieces of equipment as well as weapon loadouts that you can really not just use for one weapon alone, but across any of the available weapons for the Engineer class to have a nice little kind of a sneaky loadout, or I don't know, I don't really have a name for it yet, but it's a good loadout in which I've found to really work effectively here in in-game. Now, I've also covered the Engineer class a little bit in 2 previous videos. One of them went up on my channel in which I covered the Scar H, talking about why I think it's the best Engineer class weapon here for endgame. I still hold true to that. I find it to be the best. I perform at my best when I'm using that weapon. And I also had a video go up on Pixel Enemy Revive, which has kind of now been rebooted after a couple months hiatus, in which I gave some Battlefield 3 in-game tactics tips, talking about how to properly defend your flag in the new Capture the Flag game mode. I also used Engineer in that video and explained and talk about the pieces of equipment and why the Engineer class is it's basically its tools, why it's the best when it comes to defending your flag in the new CTF game mode. So if you're interested in those, I'll link them either on the screen or in the description. You can go check them out. Also, if you're looking for more Battlefield, not just Battlefield 3, but any Battlefield type of games, be sure to go over and check out Pixel Enemy Revive and give them a sub if you like what you see, because they will be uploading Battlefield gameplay, or excuse me, Battlefield videos. Doesn't matter which Battlefield game, but they are an exclusive Battlefield channel. So if that is the game that you love and the only game you play and watch, then that is the channel for you. And they now rebooted, like I said, after a couple months of being away. But yes, in this video today, I'm going to be covering the Engineer class, talking about mainly the pieces of equipment, as this class is just a beast and by far the best class to run here in endgame. One of the pieces of equipment you've already seen me use just for a little bit is the Javelin. And that, I think, alone, really, if I could have one piece of equipment to take across any class here in endgame, it's got to be the Javelin. The Javelin just works wonders on these maps. Even though tanks or LAVs may have smoke as an option, it's still really, really good, especially against the little pesky dirt bikes. These little rodents that can run around so freaking fast. There's no way you can hit them with an RPG or small unless you're just a very good shot, or if the guy's driving really slow for some reason. So the Javelins allow you to lock on, track those dirt bikes down, lock on real quick, pop the Javelin off, and he has got no idea that you're shooting a Javelin at him. There's no warning, there's no sound, there's nothing. He's just driving along, all of a sudden, boom, he blows up. So the Javelins are fantastic when it comes to the vehicles here in endgame. You can also use RPGs or smalls, like I said. However, they're going to be a little bit more difficult on these new maps, with the exception of perhaps Cebalon Pipeline. That is the only map I've found to use RPGs or smalls effectively, just due to the fact of the map it's got quite a few buildings, little kind of fences, rails, things like that around the center of the map, so it's going to be a little bit more difficult to lock your targets with the Javelin. When you get kind of towards the core part of the map, on the outskirts, like on here on Conquest, it'll be easier, as you'll see in this clip coming up right here. Now, another tool you can use when it comes to replacing a Javelin or RPG is the Stinger or Igla. Now, that's definitely an option if you wish to take out air vehicles. However, I will warn you, many servers, if they are privately owned, if it's some guy that just bought the server and is renting it out, you might get banned for using or kicked for using the Stinger or Iglas. Many people do not like them, as they still feel that they are overpowered after the buff they were given in the Armored Kill patch. So when it comes to my personal recommendation for that equipment slots, number 1, I would give it to the Javelin. I feel it is the most effective piece of equipment to use there. Like I said, you can use RPG small, Stinger or Igla if you wish, but I feel that the Javelin is by far the most useful equipment that you can put in that slot. So now we move on to the second one, and that is between EOD-Bot, which I don't even know why it's in this game. Personally, that's my opinion though, the mines and the repair tool. Now, I talked a little bit about the mines in a Pixel Enemy Revive video that I mentioned earlier. You can go check it out if you wish. I detailed them a little bit more, but here at Endgame, especially in Capture the Flag, the mines are certainly a good means of defense against enemy vehicles, whether it be dirt bikes, tanks, LAVs, or even the mobile AA Jeeps. I find them to work the best against dirt bikes though, and I put a couple mines down, even though I died and came back a little while later, as you're seeing here. I will still pick up a kill from mines. Many people don't like them though, they feel like they're an unskilled way of defending. Personally, I don't have a problem with them. I hate getting killed by them, but at the same time I use them because they are a very effective means of defending a area or a flag, whether it be in Capture the Flag or whether it be in Conquest, anything like that. If you wish to use mines, you're looking for strategies, just put them in the high traffic areas, places you know people are going to travel, and also hide them in debris, hide them in bushes, things like that, where you know people are probably going to be driving vehicles over, and they're not going to be able to see them as easily if you hide them in whether it be just a little debris, whether it be kind of little bushes, places like that. If you put them wide out in the open, they're going to be easier to spot. So make sure, if you wish to use mines, to hide them in order so they do not get spotted and destroyed. Now I'm using the kind of little sneaky loadouts that I mentioned earlier on in this video. Now, this loadout is not just specifically to the weapon that I'm using now, which is the ACW-R. One of the guys I play with, I do apologize, I can't remember, it's like a bunch of letters for your name. I know it starts with a J, but he mentioned he used the AKS-74U with a suppressor, and it turned out to work very well for him. So I actually ended up trying the suppressor out here. I've got it on the ACW-R, and actually it's done really well for me. Now, I actually find that the suppressor is something that I'm starting to pick over the heavy barrel here in Endgame. Because if you stick to the kind of close quarter areas of the maps, whether it be the flag cap zones in Conquest or the CTF bases when you're playing Capture the Flag, that is where I feel like the suppressed weapons can really shine and be used effectively. If you try to pick long range fights, you're not going to do very well. Stick kind of the medium and close quarters, which, like I mentioned earlier, is flag cap zones or the bases in Capture the Flag game mode, and the suppressor will actually do very well for you. So give it a shot and see how the suppressor turns out for you. You may be pleasantly surprised with the results that you get. So when playing Engineer, though, like I mentioned previously, with the mines and a repair tool, it is a little bit difficult to decide. If you're someone that is always kind of tanking and getting in the LAVs or anything like that, and you wish to kind of help whether it be yourself, squad mate, teammate, whoever it is in the vehicle with you, then by all means go for the repair tool. It's a great means of helping your team out, because sometimes it's just how you keep your vehicle alive in the armor fights. You have two tanks going at it with each other. One tank will oftentimes be victorious just because he's getting repaired while there's an armor fight going on. So kind of test it out between the mines and the repair tool and see which one works the best for you, and then whatever you find to work the best, just stick with that. Now, my personal recommendation, it's kind of just whatever the situation calls for. Mines is certainly a great option to use, but the repair tool is always nice to have. So really, it's just kind of whatever I feel like the situation needs. I will go back to them. I'll go back and forth between them pretty frequently, so I can't really give a certain recommendation. It's just, once again, whatever you feel like the situation requires you to use. Now, how to play the Engineer class is, my personal opinion, a split role here in Endgame. You can play aggressive and you can play passive and do very, very well. You can play the attacker in CTF and go after the enemy's flag and do really good at that. You can play the defender and also do good at it. This is the complete class for Endgame. Much like Armored Kill, the Engineer class is a do-everything type of class. You don't have to worry about, when it comes to defending, you have the means to defend properly, and you also have the means to attack properly. You go into an enemy's base and capture the flag, and there's a tank there, you're an engineer. You can deal with that. You want to defend your base. You see a mobile AA Jeep, dirt bikes coming in there. You have a means to defend that and take those vehicles out. So the Engineer really is the complete class here in Endgame. And once again, guys, my probably preferred loadout is going to be the Javelin with either mines or repair tool, depending on, once again, what you feel like is required of you in the situation that you're in. And when it comes to the weapon, Scar H I still feel like is the best, but try the suppressor on. Whether it be the ACW-R, M4A1, A91, anything like that. Give the suppressor a shot, see how it works for you. And just remember, you are the main class in Endgame. You are the guy that's got to deal with the vehicles, and you can do so in whether it be attacking or defending, and you can do it very, very well. Now, I didn't give any really kind of tactics in terms of strategies, ways to move around the map. Just talked a little bit about these pieces of equipment and different loadouts, things like that. If you guys want me to do kind of more strategic movements, let me know in the comment section, and I might do a follow-up video for the Engineer class. Hopefully you guys enjoy, and I'll be doing the Sport class a little bit later on. See you guys next time. Bye.